Hello everybody, my name is Deacon2GM, and we are back with a video, I guess. It's regarding Sandpatch. I know the drama that they've been through, and trust me, it's done and over with. Again, like I said, with the how well, however, apparently it doesn't end there, because yeah, sure, Sandpatch admitted that they used some stolen assets and they have replaced them. But but an ex-developer of Sandpatch has been that accused Sandpatch of stealing assets, have stolen Sandpatch assets from Sandpatch. These two SD40s are in Sandpatch. They've been reskinned, and that's it. These are actively in actual Sandpatch. This person, Phanto, has effectively stolen these assets from Sandpatch despite being an ex-developer, saying that, oh yeah, I'm an ex-developer, that means that my stuff from that game can be in this game. Well, here's the thing. Sneaky also gave me proof of other things from, well, his games being stolen, such as stuff on this Dash 8 or Dash 9, probably a I think this probably is a Dash 8. And then on this Dash 8 as well, well, this is probably a Dash 9. This is a Dash 8. Those are also stolen from him. And as we see here, this screenshot was made December 4th of 2024, which would be last year. This is an SD40 cab that Sneaky himself made. And then here's more progress on said SD40. And so apparently what this Phanto person has done essentially is slapped his logo on it, re-textured it, and said, "Oh yeah, no, this is mine." Yeah, no. When you have when you have your own your ex-boss saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're basically stealing assets from me, and that's kind of why I fired you in the first place," not a good look. Because and Sneaky quite literally has told me, FYI, I hope you know Phanto was booted from Sandpatch because he started stealing models from people without permission. So even if he is an ex-dev, he was still stealing. And of course, me forwarding this picture from one of his other ex-devs. Meanwhile, he says, "Ah yes, trying to change the subject by focusing on the models that they made rather than the Sandpatch models that they use parts from." And of course, if they're denying the literal proof that Sneaky made the models, he told me to make a video. Well, here I am making a video. And of course, this isn't going to look good for me because this is just me going on another one of these. It's gonna look like I'm going on one of these ego tirades or whatever, but no, it's just me just pointing out. Wait a second. The people that accuse Sandpatch of stealing their assets is actively stealing assets from Sandpatch. Huh? I'm sorry, but the math is not adding up there, my guy. The math does not add up when you have the literal main developer of Sandpatch making an SD40, and then you have one of his ex-developers that he booted because he was stealing shit, then accusing him of stealing shit, and is actively still stealing stuff from Sandpatch. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but this is just not gonna look good for, what is it? This isn't gonna look good for Phanto at all. I learned this just today, funny enough, from Sleepy, one of Steve's friends. Like, I learned this from from Sleepy himself, just like, yo, you've heard how we were accused of stolen models, right? I'd like to show you something. those very same accusers with Sandpatch models. These models are being made in the consolidated style by Sneaky Steve. These belong to them, which are these custom-made models for Scranton and Northern, and whatever fictional railroad that is. But these don't, and I can see that these don't, because I can clearly, because, you know, the texturing on them looks eerily familiar to a texturing style I've seen. Sandpatches. Because again, Sandpatch was made with the idea of replicating how Roblox looked like in the early 2010s. But the fact that that one ex-dev from Sneaky Steve and, well, funny enough, by extension, SST and Searchlight, which is two development studios owned by the same person, it's just, yeah. I've never been more concerned about Searchlight in a positive way before. But then again, stealing their assets to make their game, but then again, stealing assets from Sandpatch just to make their game, which is called Rail-Arson, is just, bruh. They have more, and they have stuff from Sneaky Steve Transit too. Like, what's this big idea of let's steal our allies' assets? They won't mind. They do mind. They do mind. I assure you, they mind. Like, I even went and confronted Phanto about this, saying, these locomotives, they look a little too familiar. Those SD40s you're using are from Sandpatch. And then, of course, it pulls out the excuse, probably because I'm a ex-dev for them and made some locomotives for their games. They're not yours! Because, look at this, Sneaky made the fucking thing himself in Roblox Studio. And literally building it, like, picture by picture for progress. Like, he put the ratchet brake on this first picture, and then he continued his way down on the cab, and the long hood, and then, you know, continued doing a little bit of extra detail work on the front end of the locomotive. But, yeah. Phanto, and by extension, Rail-Arson, are just denying the fact that they're using stolen assets from Sandpatch and Sneaky Steve Transit, which means games like Horse Thief and Rocky Mountain Division, they're actively using stolen assets. And it's not good. It's not looking good. But, yeah. Moral of the story, please, for the love of God, don't use stolen assets from games that you used to work for. You're gonna get exposed anyway. And besides, why use stolen assets from a game you don't even work for anymore? Like, that's kind of the reason why you were banned, you were booted in the first place. You were booted because you were stealing stuff. You don't continue it and double down on using those stolen assets. It's completely wrong, dude. It's so wrong. Why would you do that?